Turbulent processes create critical and dangerous situations. If dangers are not eliminated in time, they turn into threats. Then comes the inevitable catastrophe step by step. Russia is facing this catastrophe today. In fact, Russia took the first step in the turbulent process that would bring this catastrophe with its attempts to invade Ukraine. After Russia's invasion attempt, the country, which is ruled by a dictatorial regime, started to face more and more problems. These problems led to the recent coup attempt. Although the coup attempt has ended, its effects in Russia have not disappeared for the time being. Moreover, we can say that bigger threats awaits Russia. So what are these dangers? Let's take a look at the latest developments. Subscribe to our channel and turn on notifications not to miss the most important developments in Russia-Ukraine war and our daily detailed map analysis reports. The Pioneer reports. The coup attempt by Wagner mercenaries fighting for Russia has shaken the world community. All humanity has turned its attention to the developments in Russia. The perception that Putin cannot be challenged, which the Russian leader Putin has been instilling for years, has suddenly been shattered. However, Putin may have more important problems to rebuilding this perception. One of these problems is nuclear weapons. During the coup attempt, Wagner's troops had decided to withdraw about 330 kilometers from Moscow. Wagner did not enter Moscow, but he did enter Voronezh, which was on the route, and took control of the region. There is a very remarkable detail that makes Voronezh important: Russian nuclear weapons. According to allegations, most of the nuclear weapons that Russia produced and processes are located in the Voronezh region. Therefore, it can be said that the region is among the most important regions after the capital Moscow. Likewise, Putin's treasonous statements about Prigozhin and Wagner took place when Wagner's militia entered Voronezh. Putin, who remained quite calm and called for common sense after Wagner's seizure of Rostov, became quite angry after Voronezh came under Wagner's control. According to local sources, the reason for Putin's anger is a secret threat. According to the allegations, Wagner leader Prigozhin threatened Putin with the intention of seizing the nuclear weapons in Voronezh. In response to Prigozhin's threat, Putin accused him of treason. Therefore, it is claimed that Wagner Group decided to advance to Moscow after this secret threatening exchange. The Wagner Group ended the coup attempt and withdrew from the occupied territories. It was Belarusian leader Lukashenko who made Wagner take this decision. As you know, in recent days, the possibility of Russia deploying its nuclear weapons in Belarus has been frequently brought up. Allegedly, this move by Russia may have been postponed for a while, because according to local sources, the Wagner Group confiscated nuclear weapons during its withdrawal from Voronezh. According to local sources, the Wagner Group had the opportunity to seize nuclear bombs at the Borisovlebsk nuclear storage facility in Voronezh 45. It is also reported that the Russian troops stationed in the region surrendered to Wagner's forces or joined Wagner. With Wagner's departure from the region, it is highly likely that these troops will remain on Wagner's side. Likewise, if this claim is true, the Russian government will impose severe punishment against its soldiers who support Wagner. We can claim that Russian soldiers who do not want to face this situation have decided to continue on the road with Wagner. The allegations that Wagner, a private company, had seized nuclear weapons were met with concern all over the world, because the Wagner Group is recognized by the world as an illegal assassination of war criminals and lawless people. The group is also considered a terrorist organization by many countries. So this could expose Russia to accusations of giving nuclear weapons to terrorist organization. Russia faced a major coup attempt. With this coup attempt, the majority of Russian citizens openly declared their support for Wagner. There were also demonstrations against the government. Especially the Rostov region on the border with Ukraine witnessed remarkable developments. Russian citizens living there are the people most affected by the ongoing war. Therefore, they want the war to end as soon as possible and Putin, who is responsible for the war, to leave power. The Russian Federation is almost back to normal. But normal here does not mean a peaceful and safe country. Russia is back to the new normal that started with the invasion of Ukraine. In many parts of the country, the army and security services have returned to barracks. The trenches dug for security around Moscow have started to be filled. However, security has not been restored in Moscow. The city woke up to the sounds of bombs the day after the coup attempt. According to local sources, a car traveling in Moscow was blown up with a violent explosions in the morning. Russian sources claim that this explosion was caused by malfunction in the car. However, many social media users who witnessed the explosions claim that an explosion of this magnitude cannot be caused by a vehicle malfunction. This explosion, which took place right after the coup attempt, proves that the security problems in Moscow have not been resolved. The capital Moscow also continues to fight fires. A big fire broke out in Balashivka, a point very close to Moscow. Although the entire Russian fire brigade in the region mobilized to extinguish the fire, the long-lasting fire turned a large area into ashes. According to eyewitnesses, first a strong explosion was heard in the area, then the fire broke out. The alleged explosion also raises the possibility of sabotage. Especially in these days of escalating chaos in Russia, it is stated that the possibility of Russian separatist groups taking action is increasing. A fire broke out in the Korolev district of Moscow. According to unofficial information, there was a loss of life during the fire. The flames that engulfed a building in a short time created a great panic in the region. Allegedly, this fire was caused by an arson attack. Moscow police are investigating the cause of the fire. According to many experts, one of the most important actors of the increasing chaos in Russia is separatist groups. These groups are especially on the scene with the increase in military activities within Russia's borders. Previously, we have observed an increase in the activities of these groups following the cross-border operations of the Free Russian Legion and the Russian volunteer corps in Belgrade, Kursk and Bryansk. As you may recall, the Free Russian Legion had also called on these groups. The Wagner group's coup attempt created a major security vulnerability. The eastern part of the Russian Federation faced one day of chaos. We can say that this chaotic environment mobilized Russian separatists. But is this chaos over? Of course not. In the coming days, it is possible that we may face remarkable developments in many Russian cities, especially Moscow. What do you think? Do you think the Wagner group has acquired nuclear weapons? What kind of problems could the Wagner group's possession of nuclear weapons cause? How should the states of the world act in such a situation? What do you think about the events in Moscow? We care about your opinions. Please share them with us.